So today in my this lecture, I am going to talk about the power management of PV battery, supercapacitor, Hess-based microgrid, and this actually the power management of this PV battery-based system, battery and supercapacitor-based system. I'll be covering in two parts. So today I am going to talk about the power management of this system, and in the second part I will talk about the PV with Hess based system. I am going to first talk about the PV, wind and Hess based DC microgrid, the layout what we have considered, and then actually what I tried to tell means in my this today's lecture I will talk about a system where we have considered two set of means multiple renewable energy system based DC microgrid having a single storage and how to develop that in a laboratory environment. Okay, then its implementation, and finally I will talk about the power management of this wind battery based wind PV and battery based DC microgrid system, and finally I will conclude it. So here actually what exactly as means till now you have seen the overall microgrid and in a large scale means perspective, but today what I am trying to focus is how to develop a system from the scratch when we are talking means from the starting from the small unit to how we will go on the step by step we will develop it in the laboratory environment. Actually we have whatever we have developed here, so that exactly I am trying to explain you, and after in the subsequent lecture I will talk about the PV based system. Here PV and wind I have considered in place of fuel cell, because we have fuel cell based system till now we have not started working, means we have just started frankly speaking. So hardware implementation is yet to be completed. So in place of fuel cell you can imagine it as a means I am explaining it with a wind based system. So this is the complete layout where the whole microgrid, DC microgrid what I am saying. So it is provided, means the layout of the system with PV, two renewable energy sources, okay, that is multiple renewable energy sources, and hybrid storage. Hybrid storage means the battery as well as the supercapacitor we have considered. This is our starting point where the whole system is given, but so you have mainly 3 subunits and having the which is supplying a DC load. Okay. So, but in my today's lecture I will talk about the PV integrated with wind and having a single storage system, how it will be implemented in a laboratory environment. So, if you will see one by one the components of it. So, PV generating unit, yesterday I explained what are the possibilities in means what are the different converters, inverters, what are the single stage, two stage, but here it is a single stage because we are talking about a DC microgrid. So, first here the DC microgrid where the source and the storage and the load is connected to a common DC bus. Okay. So, here the DC bus first is the fixing the DC bus voltage. So, depending on your application you have to fix your bus voltage. Here the when we are integrating, okay. So this is a 48 volt system. The DC bus voltage we are fixing as we are planning to supply for a low power residential application where we can supply to a residential load, okay, having the LED lamps and the bell DC can means those small DC loads. So obviously we have started with a very low power level, but yes, when we are planning the system we can finally after implementing you can scale up to any value of any power level. Okay. So that mainly is I want to focus on the how to design. So first the two sources and two storage. So whole is it is a hybrid energy system having hybrid energy storage system also. So the DC grid voltage is again I am telling it is LVDC. So I am naming it as a LVDC microgrid instead of low voltage, okay, because it is fixed to the 48 volt level. Okay. And it is a upcoming means in the Indian scenario, it is this voltage level is already accepted by IEEE standard. So that's why we have chosen this bus voltage. So after choosing the bus voltage, then we have to choose the source and corresponding power electronic converters. So we'll start our design. So we have 3 units here. So PV, wind, and first what I am saying, I have considered a single storage, so that you can understand by adding its complementary part of it, that is the supercapacitor. We have already discussed why we are going for a hybrid energy storage system, what is the need of it. But so first I will explain the system with a single storage, so that in my next lecture I can explain you with the hybrid energy storage system. Okay. So here as PV, the panel, solar panel we are having. So here we are having this DC to DC converter, which is what is the need, means what it is serving. It has to extract maximum power from the available solar power. So this is doing, so what should be the this DC to DC converter, that is also a part to decide. Okay. So this DC to DC converter, yesterday also I told you, this can be a buck converter, boost converter, SEPIC converter, depending on your voltage level and power level you are going to handle, and how for what application. So for all this, so first I will tell, we can see the system with different type of converters also. Then the PV and the wind based system. Wind system, obviously you know, as we are already Sir has also explained about the wind system, but I am not going to talk much about the wind. So wind energy, we are converting the wind energy to electricity. So what you need, the turbine is driving the generator to produce electricity. So here we are having AC power, so we need a AC to DC converter. Then we have DC to DC. So here this is a two-stage system. Here also you can have a single stage, but directly having a DC to AC, but what we have used, that I am explaining. So we have a AC to DC, the rectifier, the controlled rectifier or uncontrolled it can be, and but we have, for simplicity we have taken a uncontrolled rectifier or directed rectifier here. Then we have used a DC to DC converter. Depending on, as this voltage level is very low and we are using a this voltage level high, so we have used a buck converter here. Okay. So this depending, so that what I want to say is, when you are choosing the this power electronics converter, that is a part of the design requirement. Then you have the storage battery, so which can solve all the purpose, but to reduce the size of the battery, we are adding another storage which is having high power density compared to this battery which is having high energy density. So it is used for supplying the power during transient operation. But in today's case, I will not explain about the converter or its uses here. So I will talk about this first. So how in our lab actually we have developed is, we have started with developing a wind system. Okay. Then we have integrated a battery with it, and after developing and doing its power management, I will show you its laboratory implementation. Then we will go for we'll integrate a PV system to it. The reverse way also you can do it. You can develop a PV system, you can add or parallelly it can be done also. Okay. So coming to the stages, here when we are going for the design and development, so step by step, what are the, when we have renewable energy sources and PV and wind, which is the having complementary characteristics, so that's why we are adding PV with wind. So this is the main aim is to, we have to extract maximum power from these renewable energy sources. Okay. So here in place of wind, you can think of the fuel cell also. Okay. So which again fuel cell you will be operating at, you can extract maximum power. So that also we have in upcoming classes, you will be seeing the how to extract maximum power from both PV, and that MPPT part will be covered later, but here whole system development I am explaining today. Okay. So second case is why when we are integrating a storage with the renewable energy system, the main aim is we have to regulate, you have to keep the bus voltage constant. Okay, so here regulating the bus voltage by adding, and we have to select the energy storage system. So first we have to make the system simple, we have added a single storage unit, that is the battery energy storage unit. You can say it as a base. So short forms I can sometimes I'll be using base, HES. Okay, so they should be, so BSU, some means all these are battery storage unit or battery energy storage system. So both are synonyms. So anytime I can use any word, so you should be able to get it. Then so what is the need of this? Here the power electronic converter, we are interfacing in between the storage unit and the DC bus will be responsible to regulate the bus voltage. Okay, so what should be the power electronic converter? That is another, means you have to choose accordingly. So there we can have non-isolated, isolated. Okay, but here the system, to make the system simple, we have taken a non-isolated bidirectional converter. Okay, that is a half bridge bidirectional converter. We have taken that configuration. Okay, so obviously that so the main aim of this, you have to select the energy storage and you have to regulate the bus voltage. So the controller of it also need to be designed. Then the suitable converters for doing both the things. Okay. Then comes in the first, means in the lower level we are doing this part of work, and then in the upper level we have to do the power sharing and power management. So how to do and where that is, means when we are adding the storage, so we have to see the protection of that. So that will come under this upper level of control. Okay, so there comes the power management, and the power management scheme will play the role. Okay, so here again I want to focus that, means when I am adding a wind system and I have to develop the wind system inside the laboratory. Again it has many steps to be covered. Okay, so what should be the type of turbine you have to choose, what should be the type of generator you have to choose, what are the options of generator. Already I think from such lecture you will have some idea regarding the what are the types of generators you can go for a wind energy conversion system, WECS you can say. Okay, or that is the wind power generating unit, WPGS, WPGU, any name you can say. There the turbine and then the generator. But when the turbine I am not going to install inside the lab. So what is the, means how we can get the characteristics, the wind turbine characteristics in the lab. That is also separate cases which need to be developed, but I am not going to cover those things because not possible within this short one. So overall system I am talking today. Okay. So here then whatever I told, again it is shown here in the flow steps in terms of the how to execute the task for developing this wind PV assisted LVDC microgrid. I told this is a low voltage DC microgrid because I have fixed the bus voltage to a very low level. And so first step is, you can, this means whether it is wind or it is PV, this is you can take with any step. Today I am saying with a wind taking first. Okay, I am developing the wind energy system. Next day I can do the PV system. So here what we have initially started, we have designed and developed a wind energy conversion system, and then we have integrated with the battery. Already I have told. Second step, so first then we have tried to see what are the performance of this developed with a single source, single storage. Its performance evaluation is done. Okay, with a normal operating condition, means the SOC of the battery is in the healthy condition, means it is in the normal operating zone, and you can so that it is not fully discharged or overcharged. Okay, so within that we have tried to develop this. Then we have tried to add the power management for that wind battery system. Okay, and after developing that and evaluated that performance, we have gone for inserting a PV system to it. Okay, we have tried to develop the PV PV system means PV with the corresponding DC-DC converter which is responsible to extract maximum power. Okay. So after that, in the what I am going to explain, this will be covered in the tomorrow's lecture. So we have added a hybrid energy storage system, means with multiple energy source we have added a supercapacitor along with the battery, so which forms the hybrid energy storage system. And finally, we have developed a supervisory power management scheme to operate overall system. Okay, so this is the steps, stepwise I have tried to explain so that you can have the idea how to develop, though the power level is low, but we can do it from the starting. So next is what I want to show. First let me explain here. Here I didn't. So here, just after showing the system, here if you see, this is the power management system or power management scheme, okay, PMS, which is having two level of control. Okay, the lower level or the level 1 you can say, okay, and the higher level control. In level 1 already, or the lower level of control, already I told it regulates the DC bus voltage and the charging discharging current of the battery. Okay, and in the higher level, here just it the renewable energy and the energy storage we have. So the current sharing between this source and the storage, it will decide, and it will regulate the DC voltage tightly. So what is our DC voltage? As we have fixed it to 48 volt, it has to be regulated constant at, or it has to maintain constant at 48 volt. Okay. Then in the higher level of control, what exactly will be doing? We have to monitor the SOC of the, means protection of the system, means we have tried to show here that means many higher sophisticated power management system can be done, but in the initial stage we have tried to monitor the SOC and try to allocate the power among the available RES and the energy storage system. So when you have a single source and single storage, so power management will be done in between, means depending on the load demand. So it has to supply to the load, and if there is a excess power, the battery will store it. If there is a shortage of power, battery will supply. Okay. So because this is a standalone system, I am not talking anything about grid connected here. Try to remember that. That is another thing we have to consider, because grid connected system design will again change a little bit. So first, so this is a standalone system where we are going to do this two operations in the power management system or the scheme we have developed. So what it should be able to, what is the criteria for, means it should be able to do the power management scheme. It should be control the output power of individual RES by doing MPPT. Okay, in the lower level we are doing MPPT, but when we are doing MPPT, so obviously the bus voltage is going to fluctuate depending on the if it is a PV system, depending on the irradiance. If irradiance is varying, the accordingly corresponding output voltage will vary. And when you have a wind system, if the wind speed is varying, obviously the bus voltage will fluctuate. So what is the next? So when you are adding the storage to it, so the storage, the power electrons converter, you are interfacing between the storage and DC bus should be able to capable of maintaining the or regulating the DC bus voltage, along with the controlling the charging discharging current of the battery, so which will keep it healthy. Okay, you cannot means suppose whatever is the battery rating, already I told yesterday about the sizing of the battery. So we cannot, if it is a C10 battery, we cannot exceed the beyond the charging current, the maximum current rating of the battery. Okay, so those things should be considered while designing the system. Okay, then when we are going for a grid connected, which we have not shown here, so you have to additionally regulate the voltage and frequency, for which you have to put another power electronics converter in between, okay, between the DC bus and the AC bus, okay, or the grid.
So which will be responsible for to regulate the grid voltage and to maintain the voltage and frequency constant. So which we are not going to cover in this course, but in the third step we are going to see the power balance between the generation and demand. So that already I told their storage plays the role by storing it. That is the main storage, not the supercapacitor which is additionally added to supply to give the support during the transient operation. I am talking about this battery which is responsible for all modes of operation, means during the steady state as well as the transient operation. Okay, and this step also we have not considered here, that is to have optimum cost of power generation. Okay, so you can use any higher optimization techniques so to see the cost point of view, but here during sizing analysis yesterday I have shown the one optimization method by minimizing the cost of generation. Many papers if you find people have done lot of work on this, but I am trying to keep it simple so that you can have an idea how to develop it from a scratch. So this is the importance of power management scheme. So now coming to the development, the first step what I told is to develop a wind, means two renewable energy sources, wind and PV with a single storage battery. Okay, so this is the overall system. Okay, here I told this is a AC output, so this is for AC to DC conversion. To make it simple, we have kept it a diode bridge rectifier. So here we are not doing any control, the control is done here. And 5 buck converter depending on the bus voltage level. So but this buck converter is responsible to extract maximum power from a wind system. Okay, so first we have developed this single wind energy conversion system, then we have integrated the battery, then we have introduced this PV to it, and overall power management we have seen. Okay, so this whole thing with the experimental implementation along with some experimental results I will show step by step. Okay, so here when I am talking about this, so we have tried to develop this wind part. So this is in the single line diagram, again same thing is shown. Okay, this is the circuit layout, and here this is the single line diagram. Okay, so here we have chosen a buck converter. If you will see here I have shown a converter, that is boost converter. Okay, so because the PV module we have chosen, it is giving a available at a lower voltage than this bus. Okay, when this is at 48, so this is giving a MPP voltage of around 32, 35 volt like that. So we are boosting it, or sometimes with lower irradiance also it is going below that. Okay, so this voltage is boosted, but tomorrow I will try to show it with a buck converter also. So this converter design, depending on your what should be the load, for which type of amount of load you are designing, then this converter design will depend. Okay, so here this is the non-isolated bidirectional converter, and this is the buck converter. Both the converters which are connected to the renewable energy sources are doing the MPP operation. You should be very much clear about that. Okay, so then coming to this wind system, I have directly shown it a self-excited induction generator. It is not necessarily it should be self-excited induction generator. You can go for a DFIG, you can go for a PMSG also, permanent magnet synchronous generator, or DFIG is the doubly fed induction generator. But normally for this, the power level which we are talking about, this DFIG has nothing, means for medium and very high power, means for megawatt range, we are normally going for some hundreds of kilowatt to megawatt range, we are going for this DFIG operation. But for low power up to less than 10 kilowatt, we are going for nowadays for SEIG as well as PMSG. And PMSG is having also, we have started, we have also done, developed the system with PMSG, but here I am giving the example with a self-excited induction generator. Okay, so what about this turbine? How I will develop in the lab? So for that, what we have done, we have taken a DC motor induction generator set. Okay, DC motor coupled to a self-excited, means that is our squirrel cage induction generator, induction motor, means DC motor induction generator means it is DC motor induction motor set, which so where we are trying to operate the induction motor as a generator, means DC motor is working as the prime mover and you are driving the squirrel cage machine as a in the generator mode, generating mode. Okay, so here the DC motor is giving the characteristics of wind turbine. Okay, so how to develop that wind turbine, those things are again a separate issue and it needs 2-3 more classes to cover. So I am just saying that the DC motor we have used to give the, so it is called wind turbine emulator, WTE, if you will see here, WTE, wind turbine emulator, which gives the characteristics of a field wind turbine. Okay, so means correspondingly that means we will model the wind turbine first in the MATLAB and then we will dump it to the controller. So and we will try to regulate the armature current so that it will create a means give the characteristics of a field wind turbine. Okay, so first so we have started with that step first. We have developed the wind turbine emulator in the lab, then which is that drives this squirrel cage induction machine operating as a self-excited induction generator. Okay, so for this self-excited case, so this capacitor bank is very much necessary to provide the reactive power requirement. Then so we are getting a 3-phase AC voltage here, which is converted to DC using a diode bridge rectifier module. Then our work starts. We have introduced a buck converter here, which is trying to extract maximum power by for different MPPT techniques. Okay, and the simplest one is the perturb and observe, P and O MPPT techniques, all of you must be aware of. Then we have tried to improve the performance of this P and O MPPT algorithm in the lab, and the system is tested with this complete wind turbine is developed, its performance is tested. So then it is driving only without doing the MPPT. We have tested the wind turbine characteristics. Then we have tried to by including this diode bridge rectifier and buck converter, we have tried to here do the MPPT. Okay, so when we are doing the MPPT, so this is here by varying the voltage of the armature voltage of the DC motor, we can vary correspondingly, means so because we are modeling it with using a wind turbine model. So correspondingly we are varying the means we are giving a speed command, correspondingly the output voltage of this means output current, the armature current of the DC motor will vary, which will emulate the field wind turbine characteristics, and will be able to, for a particular speed, will be able to extract maximum power. Okay, so that after doing that, so but when I am getting a maximum power for a particular speed, suppose 6 meter per second wind speed, so obviously this bus voltage is fluctuating. Okay, we are not regulating. So then when we are integrating this with a battery bank, we are having a bidirectional converter which is responsible to regulate this bus voltage, to fix the bus voltage. And when that means if wind power is proportional to what? Q of the wind velocity. So with, okay, try to understand. If you know the characteristics of wind turbine characteristics, so for each wind speed you will be having different operating points. Okay, that is the maximum operating point, and correspondingly, but it is not that whenever the wind speed is very high, you will be able to extract more power. But is it possible? Because there is a generator, so when it reaches the generator limit, we have to stop it. So for the wind power, we have different modes of operation, means the range of operation, you can say, in between the cut into, you can say cut into here actually the cutout, okay, and the rated speed. Okay, so this is between the cut into rated, you have the MPP zone of operation, and then you have to limit the power, and after cut out you have to stop it. Okay, so this is the protection zone of the wind energy conversion system, and this is the MPP zone. Okay, and then you have to stall the machine, means you have to stop it. Okay, if it is the, because during the storm condition, and you cannot more wind, we should not be happy that we will get maximum power. No, it's not. We have to see the protection of the system, so we have to stop it. Okay, so you can say it as a stall zone or the packing zone of the wind turbine system. So those are again in detail I am not going. Just so we are focusing on this MPP zone and then the pitch control mode, where we are limiting the by increasing the pitch angle of the wind turbine, we are limiting the wind power to its rated value. So it what is the rated value? It depends on the turbine rated, means the generator maximum rating of the generator. Okay, so this is how we are going to implement the wind energy conversion system or wind power generation system, WPGS or WECS, whatever you want to say, you can say. So again, this is a detailed view. So there, in terms of block diagram I have shown. Just if you see, this is the wind turbine emulator, where you are having it is operating as a buck converter. So we are regulating the armature voltage for a separately excited DC motor. So here, by controlling this switch, we are controlling the armature current, which is giving the wind turbine characteristics. Okay, so we have modeled. So here the design steps is for developing this whole wind turbine system, okay, or wind energy conversion system. We have 3 steps. First, to develop the wind turbine emulator. Okay, here you can have different sets also instead of DC motor, but DC motor is easiest one to implement. Okay, and but both squirrel cage motor and generator set you can have. Okay, you can have PMSM also, which can be emulated as a wind turbine. So all these things you can get in the literature, but here we have, for the simplicity, we have taken a DC motor induction generator set, which is available in our laboratory. Okay, so after developing this wind turbine emulator, then the SEIG along with the rectifier and buck converter is, after designing, we have integrated it. Okay, so this is a buck converter, which is you are just giving pulse to it to extract maximum power. Okay, and this is actually the implementation we have done with the DSpace controller, digital controller. Okay, DSpace 1104 digital controller. Okay, so after developing this whole wind turbine along with the wind energy generator, okay, and doing the MPP operation, we have tried to integrate the battery with the bidirectional converter. This is a non-isolated bidirectional converter having a single leg. So before going for the implementation, so what we have to do? We have to design all these filter parameters, okay, for this buck converter, for this bidirectional converter. So that is also a step. Okay, design of the bidirectional converter, design of the buck converter, then you can go for a simulation, then implementation. Okay, so this is a year-long work, means I am saying it in a, so obviously for the time constraint I have to skip some parts. I am not going in detail of I am not touching MPPT, how we are doing MPPT, but overally MPPT is, you just understand that it is extracting maximum power. So whether it is a wind system, whether it is a PV system, whether it is a fuel cell system. Okay, so I have started with wind. So then you can do the same thing for the solar. But solar, the simple it becomes simple because it is a DC to DC directly. It is giving DC, so you can have the design the DC to DC converter directly. Okay, so it is much easier compared to developing a wind turbine or a wind energy conversion system. Okay, so this system again, so already I told, as we have chosen, so this can be a buck converter, boost converter, okay, for the wind system. Here, as it is a buck converter, correspondingly the LC parameters of the buck converter is designed. This is the standard LC. Okay, we have taken the ripple current is taken to be 30%, okay, here, and the DC bus voltage ripple is 1.5%, and correspondingly the LC values for the buck converter is calculated, okay. So this is the only without battery. This system, this is the specification of the DC motor induction generator set. So DC motor induction generator set, and then the wind turbine we have chosen to model it inside the MATLAB. Okay, here the wind turbine is modeled, and the controller is also designed so that it can give a output so that it means you will get the PWM to control this switch, okay, the buck converter, which is operating as in a voltage control mode, means you are controlling the armature voltage, so it will give the correspondingly wind turbine characteristics, okay. And then comes your SAEG part, self excited induction generator, where the specifications are here, and you can search all these papers, means we have several number of papers, more than 10 I think, journal as well as conference papers, where detailed design is given step by step, means you can starting from the wind turbine, wind turbine development, how to develop the wind turbine emulator, its corresponding implementation, the how the characteristics is wind turbine characteristics is varied, the corresponding results, you can go through it, but I am not going in detail of those things. Then the MPPT part also, we have several journals and transactions also for this wind turbine, means the MPPT operation of this SAEG, okay. So here the system is implemented in the DS 1104, I told it is a DS 1103 digital controller, okay. And the switching frequency for all the systems we have considered it as fixed it at 10 kilohertz, okay. And gradually we are also now working at 20 kilohertz also, but the switches we have we are using the IGBTs, okay. So for this system, obviously seeing this, okay, it looks very easy, but when we have the sensors, we have all these things when we are developing in the lab, and the corresponding powers means signal processing unit is also, it takes time to develop, okay. So in the laboratory session we will one example will show in detail how to calibrate the sensor and those things, okay. Just I am showing you this is the design of the bidirectional converter, which I will tell in detail in my tomorrow's class, because here I will first talk about the what is the power management. So let us just, I want to tell that the DC bus is regulated by this bidirectional converter. So first we will design this using a standard design procedure, the calculating the LC parameters of this bidirectional converter, and because for a corresponding, so first the sizing of the battery already yesterday I told, okay, for what type of load, how much load, 300 watt, 500 watt, 1 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt, accordingly your size of the battery will depend. And after that you are coming for this battery energy storage system, means I am talking about battery along with the converter, okay. So this converter design is also playing a crucial role before implementation or going for. So first you have to design the converter, then you will go for a simulation, okay. And how to regulate this DC bus voltage, for this we are using a dual loop PI controller. So where the outer loop is a VDC control loop and the inner loop is a battery current control loop, okay. So this controller design is also another, so each step as having many sub steps, okay. So this controller is also designed, and we have designed the controller for this corresponding KPKI values. This slide I will share so that you can know in detail also. So we are getting 2 pulses to control or the operation of this bidirectional converter, where when means it is operating in 2 modes. One is the boost mode and there is buck mode. So when it is operating as a boost mode, means the battery, suppose here we have first started with a 36 volt and we are boosting it to 48, Now we are doing at 24 volt. Okay, but boosting, when, in which case it is operated in a boost mode? When discharging. Okay, that means when there is a less power generation, so the battery is supporting to supply to the load to meet the load demand. And when it is a buck mode, means it is charging, the power flow is in this direction, so this is a bidirectional power flow. It is boost means it is discharging, and buck means it is charging. So after designing this and simulating this, we have gone for the implementation of this, and this is the corresponding sensor circuits that is developed for this wind battery system. Okay, this is the diode bridge rectifier first for the CIG. Correspondingly, the voltage current sensors are here. Okay, and its signal conditioning circuits. Okay, and we have also sets for this the filter parameters what we have calculated. So same values are placed here. Okay, so with the setup also we will show you in the last class. Okay, though we are not going to show the wind energy conversion system full operation, but hybrid energy storage system demonstration we will show. Okay, and its sensor tuning and all those things in detail. Okay, so this is the sensor accessories for this wind battery system. Then this is the overall setup. Okay, we have this DC motor SAG set. Okay, this is the excitation capacitor bank here, and correspondingly this is the, as I told, this is a DC motor operating in a separately excited mode. So we have the field supply for the DC motor, and these are the first we have done with the this lead acid battery of 3 cells we have used, 36 volt I told, and gradually now we are going for 2 sets, means having 24 volt. Okay, so this is the resistive load we are testing till now with the resistive load. Okay, and corresponding bidirectional converter, and this is the buck converter here. Initially when for very low power we have, means 200-300 watt we have tested. So we have for buck converter we have used the MOSFET, and now we have changed it to IGBT for a little higher power application. We have designed for 1 kilowatt system. Okay. So this is the displace controller, means where it is giving the ADDA. The detail of it will be explained in our tutorial class. Okay. So after developing this system, wind system, it was tested separately for MPP operation. Okay. In the MPP we have first normal this P and MPP algorithm is tested. Many things are there I have to cover. So I'll just come to the power management with the wind battery system. Okay, already I told it is operating in MPP mode. When the wind speed is more than the rated, we have to go for the pitch control mode, and when this off MPP mode is coming into picture, means we are having wind power, but we cannot, because if the battery is either overcharged or at this deep discharge condition, we have to disconnect the battery. We cannot operate the battery further for its protection, means for the safety of the battery. We cannot overcharge it or discharge it, so that we can have a better life for the battery. Okay, so for that, in that case it will operate in the MPP mode. So here all the sensed voltage and currents will be sensed, and then there is a PMS, the power management scheme will decide the mode. The wind system should operate at which mode, depending on the condition it will check. I'll go, means next slide I'll explain with the flow chart also. Okay, and this is for the this wind power generation system, or WECS also you can say. These 3 modes are there. Okay, and for battery you have either, if battery is the SOC is within the safe limit, that is, here we have considered the safe limit as 50 to 90%. Okay, okay, you can also go for the lowest one, 30 to 80 also nowadays people are taking. We have also finally modified that, but when initially we started, we have kept the lower limit as 50% and higher limit as 90%. So within that, so it is regulating the bus voltage. If it is exceeding the upper limit or it is below the lower limit, then the battery has to be stopped, means we will disconnect this bidirectional converter, so battery will be kept safe. Okay, so that I'll explain you with the, again this is the power management scheme we have developed. So in terms of the flow chart. Okay, so we are measuring all the voltage and current of the all systems, subsystems means wind and battery system. Then we have to calculate all the power, what is the load power requirement, how much load we have connected, what is the wind power, and what is the how much is battery is taking, or what is the available battery power. Okay, so first we will check the condition whether wind power is greater than the rated power of the wind system. If it is yes, then okay, we have to limit the power. We cannot operate it at under normal operating mode. So this will go to the pitch control mode. This is the generator protection mode. Okay, and here again you will check the battery first you have it is operating in the generator protection. Okay, and after checking the generator, then you will go for the battery condition, whether SOC is within the limit. Yes, then you can charge the battery with the available energy. If wind power, because wind power is more than the means equal to rated. Okay, or more than rated you can say. And if it is no, it is not within the limit, means it is either upper or lower, then you have again you need to shut down. Okay, but in this normal case, normal scenario, when it is wind power is less than the rated condition and battery is within the limit. Okay, so you will check whether wind is available or not. Okay, if yes, then you can, if it is means wind power is not available, then which is the only, so battery will act as the only source, so it will discharge to supply the load. Okay, if wind power is more than the load power, yes condition, then excess power can be used to charge the battery and the wind system will operate in the MPPT mode. Similarly, if the wind power is less than load power, then battery will discharge and MPP, the wind system will operate in the MPP mode. Similar system can be developed for, if you will take as a solar, if you are taking a PV system, this obviously this pitch control mode will not come into picture. Okay, the MPP mode and off MPP mode are reduced power mode you can say. Okay, so here this is the case, and then when wind power is, another case will come when wind power is more, means SOC is not within the limit, either it is overcharged or discharged. Okay, and wind power is more than the load power. Yes, then you don't have storage to, you cannot store it. Okay, you have load power you have supplied, then so what you extra will do, otherwise the BDC cannot be maintained constant, so you have to switch to off MPP mode. Okay, so first with this, all this, taking all this condition, when we have tried to implement it, what we have in the normal operating condition, I will just go little fast because many things are there further to cover. So here after this is wind with battery. Okay, so here we have kept the load power constant 100 watt. Okay, we have done at initially at a very low power level. So and the wind is the at say the wind here the results are with varying wind speed. So till 6.5 meter per second, it is giving 150, nearly 145 or 150 watt. Then wind speed is changed to 7 meter per second, which is given around 175 watt. So the excess power here it is going to, so this is the normal operating condition, first case. Okay, are you getting it or not? So excess power is stored and suddenly there is a, this is constant load operation. So again wind speed is changed to 6 meter per second. So there is almost it is ideal condition, means floating condition. Whatever wind power, after supplying the converter losses, it is a little bit of power is going to for battery charging. Okay, then after that the wind power is reduced further. Okay, so now the wind power generated is less than the load demand. So what happens? Battery, instead of charging, now the battery power, if you see, it is supplying to the load. Okay, so and always load power is maintained, means the generation and load is power is balanced. Okay, means PW, suppose it is the power generated by wind plus this equation, this here it is already written, okay, minus the battery power, and here I have not shown the loss, the converter losses will also come into picture, minus the loss should be equal to the load power. Okay, and here for all this operation, if you see, the bus voltage is maintained constant. So that we have done achieved by the using the DC bus voltage regulation using that dual loop PI controller. Okay, and this is the power, the results of the waveforms of the power, all the powers. This is the corresponding battery current. Okay, and corresponding SOC, here if you will see, it is between in safe limit, that is within 69 to 70%. Okay, so battery is charging, then it is discharging. Okay, it is clearly visible. So this is the mode 1 operation. Okay, so this is also case, just a minute. Here both wind speed is changing and also load changing. Okay, correspondingly you are able to maintain the DC bus voltage constant. But during the load variation, when the load is changing, if you will see, there is no effect on the MPP, means it is extracting the same power. So load variation should not affect, when it is operating in the MPP mode, should not affect the MPP power. It should extract the maximum power, means the whatever may be the source, it is the PV or wind, with the irradiance variation, when you are varying the load, it should give the track the maximum power. Okay, and same is the case when there is a wind speed variation, it is also giving the maximum power. Okay, so load is varying, so accordingly the battery will charge, or it is further as the load is decreasing, it is further charged, means battery is storing more. Okay, so in all the cases, so batteries, here we are showing the cases, so battery is charging. Okay, and correspondingly, so first here the load variation, then we are showing again wind speed variation, but it is operating in the mode 1 condition, that is the battery is within the safe operating limit and wind speed, the wind power is less than the rated value. Okay, then comes the mode 2, when that is a battery protection mode. Okay, in the battery protection mode, also here we have considered the SOC is within the limit. Okay, so that's why we are able to regulate the DC bus voltage. Okay, so here we have the load power of 100 watt, and correspondingly we are limiting the wind power also. There is no change, it is limited to its 170 or 175 watt around. Okay, to its rated value. So this is at a low power condition we have tested. Okay, and correspondingly here battery is, as the load power, the generation is more than the load demand, so it is charging. Okay, this is the second case, means mode 2 generator protection example. But the problem comes when you are shutting down or you are disconnecting the battery, when battery is either overcharged condition or deep discharge condition. So first is the case when you are operating and battery reach the SOC upper limit. Okay, so you have to disconnect the bidirectional converter. So then what will happen? Who will maintain the DC bus voltage? Now our MPP is intact, means it is operating. So the problem here is we are unable to regulate the DC bus voltage. So that's why now it should, the MPP, the PMS should switch from MPP mode to reduced power mode. Okay, first I have shown, if you can recall. So here this is the problem I have shown without reduced power mode control, where the buck converter, instead of MPP operation, it will operate in a closed loop to regulate the DC bus voltage. Okay, so this is the results where this is the deep discharge condition, it reached the 50% SOC and the bus voltage is less than 48, it is unable to maintain. Okay, so now we are switching the buck converter, the bidirectional converter is disconnected. buck converter is now from MPP mode to it will switch to reduced power mode or off MPPT mode. Okay. So by implementing that, so this, if you'll see, this is the closed loop operation of the buck converter, where also we are, so here it was operating in a MPP mode. Now it is also again the similar type of controller, dual loop PI controller, where the buck converter is operated in a closed loop condition to keep the DC bus voltage constant. Okay. So correspondingly, already all these things I have explained what the power management scheme is doing and how the switching mode switching is happening, and that we have very well, means we got the result correspondingly. Previously I have shown you we are unable to, when it is reaching 90% we are unable to regulate this bus voltage, but now due to the switching of the MPP converter to off MPP mode, it is able to regulate the DC bus voltage constant. So with this also we have one paper, one transaction, means IEEE journal. Okay, you can go to systems journal, I think. Okay, so these are a new idea we have introduced. Okay, so we are able to manage the this power balance and regulate the DC bus voltage, means considering the battery protection also. Okay, so this is the overcharging condition. Next is the deep discharge condition in both the cases. But during deep discharge condition, what happens? If it is operating at more, means wind power is more, but load is still less, so you have to go for a load shedding. So this is taking, means we have done the manual load shedding here, so it is taking little more time to track the DC bus voltage. Okay, so these are the some difficulties we faced while implementing the system. Okay. So this is the battery shutdown mode when you are using this off MPPT controller, means the wind energy conversion system is switching from MPP to off MPPT mode. Okay. So here you see, means I have for previous case also the battery current is 0. It is disconnected completely. Okay. So after implementing the wind with a battery system, then we have tried to integrate the solar system to it. Okay. For solar, initially we have taken this lamp based system, so now we are using actually solar simulator, so we can go for high power and higher voltage level. So this voltage is less than 48 volts, so we have chosen a boost converter. Okay. So boost converter, and we have implemented with this MPPT is implemented using this Arduino microcontroller. Okay. So first step, now the system is changed much. This again buck converter we have replaced, sorry, boost converter we have replaced by a buck converter. Tomorrow I will explain the design of that. So here the converter design I have not focused. I am saying the overall power management and its operation. Okay, when you are going to add the, either it is a means source if you are adding and you have a single storage, how the complexity is increasing. So you are this here buck converter, sorry, boost converter is designed, and this MPP for different irradiance condition you can do it. Okay. So normally this for PV you can go for incremental conductance, that INC method also. P and O, INC, both techniques, and its improvement also we have done by drift free MPPT techniques. You can go through all these papers, okay, where it is given in more detail. Okay. So here after developing this, so this is the complete system, PV with wind, the battery. Here also we have used a 36 volt till now. After that we replace it by 24 volt. Okay. So this corresponding converter, this is the buck converter, and this is the rectifier of the wind. All same system, we have added this PV system here. Okay. In the lab, in the last day, you can see all these systems are available. So after integrating this PV, again we have tried to go for different operating condition. Means along with, you just see, we have added a PV system, one more generation we are adding. Okay, so how the complexity is increasing means here, if you'll see, this wind plus PV power minus the system loss should be equal to the load power, or battery can be charged or discharged depending on your generation. Okay. So you are having, so solar power, we have, for this testing, we have started the operating the solar power at MPP mode. You can have several, means adding one condition means again many sub conditions are arising, means whether MPP means PV is operating at MPP. So whatever we did for PV wind system, same thing is applicable for PV. So the when wind is means, but when battery is not there, think this situation when battery is, you are disconnecting a battery. So what you have to do? You have two sources having a different voltage rating. You cannot put it directly in parallel. So you need, your power management scheme has to be more sophisticated. So that any one of the system has to regulate the bus voltage. So initially what we did, as we were unable to implement it properly, so we have to manually stop one and the other one should operate. Okay, but here the results I have tried to show is for only wind speed variation, irradiance variation and load variation condition, but battery is in a normal SOC condition. Okay, so to keep our life simple, because again you are increasing the condition constants, so the complexity is increasing a lot. That final thing also we have achieved, but first I want to show by increasing one source only. So again, if when you add fuel cell to it, again, so three sources you have to manage. Okay, so like that you have to think when you are going for designing and developing a power management scheme for this DC microgrid or AC microgrid or whatever means. So with a simple example I have tried to explain it. Okay, whether you are getting it or not, I am not sure. After I complete, you can ask questions also. So this is a different sudden means different for battery storage system for solar, and the means there is a change in load. We have tested the system under normal operating scenario means, so that's why I have not shown SOC here. Okay, only battery current, corresponding power, all power, and the VDC is regulated. Okay, so load current also I have not shown because we are assuming that everything is means battery is under a safe limit. Okay, so SOC of the battery we are not shown here. So only the power balance is happening after meeting the losses of the system, that I have tried to show. So here initially in the case 1, the at a standard STC condition, okay, we have the irradiation is 380 watt per meter square and correspondingly means the PV is operating only PV. Okay, then you have added battery. So then after, so till PV is operating, okay, you just see till PV is operating, the bus voltage is not constant, it is only operating at MPP, and when you are introducing the battery to it, it is regulating the bus voltage at 48 volt. Okay, so after that, so we are including the wind power to it. Okay, so once DC bus voltage is regulated, then we are adding another source. So you can do the reverse way, you can start the wind, then you can introduce the battery, regulate the DC bus, okay, then you can introduce the PV. Okay, so but while when the system are increasing and in the practical scenario when you are implementing it, it is quite difficult. Okay, to so many sensors we have, so many everything we have to check properly. So for the final implementation. So here this is the system. Both the generating units are, it is given, it is operating at MPP. Load power is kept constant. So whatever extra power is used to charge the battery and the bus voltage is maintained constant. Okay, so this is the after introduction of we have two sources and one storage which is regulating the DC bus. Okay, then in the fourth case, the wind power is constant, the PV power is also constant, but there is a change in load. Okay, so correspondingly, but whatever, whether it is load change, irradiation change, or the wind speed change, the bus voltage is capable to maintain constant, which is done by the lower level of control. I told, okay, VDC regulation, okay. And the power management, you can see the example, means after meeting the load demand, the PV power, the generated power is equal to the battery power plus the load power, okay. So as the load is increasing, so you just see battery's power is decreasing. So for all this type of condition, this is then change in wind condition. Wind speed is reduced. Okay. Correspondingly, wind speed is reduced. Correspondingly, battery charging current is reduced. But the bus voltage is maintained constant. Okay. So for all type of such conditions, so 8 conditions we have tried to show here. So this is that is the wind speed change condition. This is a change in irradiance where the irradiance is reduced. Okay, you just see irradiance is reduced, power is reducing. Okay, but with the load change, MPP power is not getting affected. Whether it is a wind system or this PV system, the load change is not affecting the MPP power extraction. Okay. But correspondingly, your battery and storage power is changing. Okay, so to keep the DC bus voltage constant. So this is the here. Then we have tried to see the system whether it is capable. Means we want to make the system reliable. So without PV also the system is operating or not. Okay, PV wind is there, load is there, battery is there. PV means power. So suppose night condition. At night there is no sun, so but our system is operating well. Okay. Here you see the battery power is changing because here this one this is the load power, this is the wind power, and you are switching off you are disconnecting the solar system. With the no sun also it is operating. And this is the, you have disconnected the solar, you have disconnected the wind also, but still the battery is sufficient enough to supply to the load. Okay, so the battery sizing is done so that it is capable of handling the load demand. Okay, so with this I can conclude my today's session. Okay, if you have any question you can ask. So this is what we have means what we have seen. We have designed and developed a wind power system. Then we have added PV to it. Both the PV and wind are operating under MPP condition. Okay, and the DC bus is maintained well. One extra thing we have added is under when there is the battery protection as well as the wind system protection. Okay, that is a pitch control mode and MPP off MPPT mode or the reduced power mode also. These two words are same. You are whatever available power, we are not operating at that, we are operating at reduced condition or off, not MPPT, off MPPT. Okay, so these are the already I discussed and it is summarized in this last slide. And these are the references, some of the references, because there are which I will put 4-5 pages. Some references I have shown here, and you can go through my Google Scholar and you can check. More than 10 papers are on 10 or 15 you can say. Okay, and if you have any doubt now also, if you are not getting any question later also, you can contact me. Okay, and in our tutorial session I will show you in physically the systems I have shown as a photograph. The systems are available, you can check it there. Okay, so any question? Online participants also you can ask.
When you are building up the setup, experimental setup in your lab,
yes,
for all these to make up a DC grid, then are you purchasing the modules as such from the market, or you are purchasing the components in assembling and then preparing the control unit for that? In this way you are building up the unit?
No, we are not. Machine obviously we are it was available in the lab. Okay, then PV panels obviously we have purchased, but the converter and the other system, the sensors we have developed individually, each unit.
Okay. Right. That's great. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, you can in the tutorial session you can see the life of it. Will show at least one demonstration because this is a 5-6 years
Yes.
of work. Means I have shown a part of it, discuss in detail. So that's why I told you to just go through all the papers. Any doubt, any means individual implementation is also given in detail. Okay. Any doubt also you can contact me directly anytime, not during this course only. Okay. I'm available to means I'll be happy to explain because actually we have spent
Yes.
lot of time to develop all these things.
Yes, yes. In the previous course also I have seen this experimental setup in one of the tutorial. The demonstration was given by one such scholar. So
Yeah.
that's so that you are building up your lab in a very nice way, uh,
Yeah.
which helps not only the PE students but also the research students. The research students have this lot
Yes,
of
yes.
stress.
BTECs are also working, and with BTECs also we are able to have journals also. Means last means though the number is less, but people are means those students those who are taking interest, we are supporting them. And I am
Yes.
really interested for this experimental. Only simulation means I am
Sure.
not satisfied with that. Obviously,
That-
simulation is needed. Without simulation, we cannot go for hardware.
Uh-huh. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So I think we can close the session. Thank you all.